our security personnel are under instruction to make sure that they keep an eye on the mid-morning examination, or the second paper as you call it, so that at any one point we know we have deployed 2 security personnel. One will be in charge of the school compound, the center, the whole center, and then the other one is deployed to take care of the second or mid-morning exam. And they are under instruction that at any no time would they lose sight of that examination. So I think that is enough security for that paper. So we don't expect any early exposure at all.
Ningependa kusema kwamba siku ya leo tumefaulu kupeana mitihani kwa shule zetu 45 ambazo zinafanya mtihani wa KCSE. Tayari wameweza kuondoka wakitumia magari ya shule na ya serikali, wakiandamana na maafisa wa usalama.
Leo hii mtihani wa KCSE ile ya kidato cha 4 imeanza rasmi, ingawa tumekuwa tukifanya kidogo kidogo zile za practicals ya mashule yetu manne. Lakini sasa leo mtihani itafanyika kwa mashule yetu yote 35, na asubuhi wa leo walimu wakuu haswa walijitokeza wote na wakachukua mtihani na kupeleka kwa mashule. Tulifungua saa 1 asubuhi na ikawa tayari tumeweka mikakati ya kuhakikisha kwamba kuna ulinzi wa kutosha, kuna askari watasimamia mtihani wakishirikiana na washikadau wengine ili tuhakikishe kwamba mtihani imefanyika kwa njia ambayo inastahili.
Moving on, a day after the government gazetted the names of 51 principal secretaries following their vetting and approval by the National Assembly, President William Ruto on Friday presided over their swearing-in ceremony at State House, Nairobi. The head of state has demanded service delivery from these men and women who are taking up the role of running various ministries in the technical capacity. Our reporter Henry Tende is working on this story, and it will be filed in detail.
I, Julius Kiplangat Korir, being called on the exercise of the functions of the Principal Secretary, do swear that
I, Tracy Ambaika Malokwe.
I, Esther Mumbingero. I, Aurelia Chepkirui-Rono.
Do swear that, except with the authority of the President,
I will not directly or indirectly reveal the nature or contents of any business.
Let me first and foremost congratulate the men and women who today have taken the oath of office to serve the Republic of Kenya as principal secretaries. From me and the entire administration, congratulations to you. Congratulations for the opportunity the Republic of Kenya has given you to serve in the high office of Principal Secretary. You have submitted yourselves by oath and in public to serve the Republic of Kenya and to work diligently so that we can deliver to the people of Kenya the program, the plan, and the agenda for which this administration was elected.
Right, and those are the pictures live from State House happening at as early as 9 a.m. on Friday morning. And of course, we'll be giving you that detailed coverage of the 51 principal secretaries in our subsequent bulletins. Moving on, President William Ruto has suspended the embattled IEBC commissioners led by Vice Chair Juliana Cherera, Justice Nyang'aya, Francis Wanderi, and Irene Masit. In a Gazette notice on Friday, the President said their suspension was effective immediately. The National Assembly voted Thursday night to adopt a committee report that recommended their ejection. This is after the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee confirmed that the 4 petitions that were seeking for their removal of the 4 met the threshold for them to be kicked out of office. Right, and a report by Election Observer Group ELOG about this year's general elections has given a thumbs up to the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission (IEBC) for the way it conducted the elections. The report says the elections were credible and to a large extent peaceful. It has, however, raised queries on the level of security for IEBC poll officials and the use of technology in management of the 2022 elections, recommending, among other measures, a review of the technology employed in the electoral process to make it simpler and more responsive. The Observer Group also recommends improved security for IEBC officials in future elections.
The ballot to the portal, from the ballot to the portal. So I would like to invite Mule Musau.
And we are recommending that we work with the IEBC and other stakeholders to ensure electoral legal reforms are introduced and debated in a timely manner. We feel there's no reason why the Campaign Financing Act cannot be operationalized, and also a solution to the 2/3 gender rule cannot be articulated by Parliament. They need to do that, and then provide effective oversight and timely approvals for IEBC annual budgets. On the National Police Service, we again, as I said, they are better prepared and exercise more restraint during these elections, which is a good thing. So our recommendations are need for adequate and accountable security to be provided to all stakeholders, including observers, including IEBC officials. And in this regard, we have actually mentioned the harassment and even the killing of an IEBC official during the election. We think that security was not enough, was not adequate to guarantee those officers' security. Invest in improved training to judicial officers on election dispute resolution to enhance skills, and especially on technology. Because again, there are questions about whether the judiciary is well anchored when it comes to issues about the technology, and sometimes you have to get experts from outside to come and take the officers through technology-driven processes. So we feel that's an area for improvement.
And scores of people have been injured in an accident, on a road accident along the Maimayo-Narok Highway. Confirming the incident, Narok Deputy Commissioner Lawrence Kinyo has urged travelers to take caution on the road as the festive season approaches.
Tulikutana na barabara accident kwa barabara ambayo ilikuwa accident sio ya kufurahia sana, kwa sababu wengi walijeruhiwa vibaya, na wakati huu ndio tunaambia watu wetu ya kwamba wawe waangalifu kabisa kwa barabara. Huu ni wakati wa Krismasi, mwaka mpya, Jamhuri pia iko na watu wako na mbio na haraka mingi, especially hii barabara ya kutoka Maimayo kuelekea Narok inaenda mpaka Kisumu, Kisii, iko na traffic ambayo kwa sababu ya ukosefu wa askari kila mahali unakuta wanafanya overspeeding. Tunauliza watu wetu wawe waangalifu sana, kwa sababu wengine wanataka kufanya trips mingi kwenda Nairobi, kwenda Kisumu ili waweze kuwahi abiria wengi.
Now, the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission has put on notice land grabbers who have taken over 60 parcels of land belonging to the government in Nanyuki, Laikipia County to return the titles or face prosecution. This comes as it emerged that Laikipia County Commissioner's 32-acre land at his residence in Nanyuki was grabbed and reduced to only 4 acres. During a meeting convened at Laikipia County government to forge a way forward on land use and planning, the commission has said that it has completed investigations on all the parcels of government land that has been grabbed.
Beginning next week, we will issue what is known as restriction. We will restrict all those parcels, following which we will issue notices. We will be asking people to explain why, show cause why their titles should not be cancelled and reverted back to the government. Upon which, thereafter, we'll file those cases in the land court here in Nanyuki.
Kuna wale pia wamevamia sehemu za prisons, zile nyuma officers wanakaa kule sokoni, majengo kwa chief. Kuna kambi za askari wetu ambapo kila saa wanatishiwa kwamba wahame, na tumepata ushauri na mawaidha kwamba wakae pale na wasibanduke. Manake hiyo ni shamba ya serikali, na shamba ya serikali haiwezi katoka kwa serikali na kwenda kwa mtu binafsi. Hii ndio sheria, na ni vizuri sisi wote wekezaji wenye kununua tufuate sheria, tusije tukahadaiwa na mataperi ambao wananyakua hizi shamba kusudi wauze wapate pesa na kuzitumia kwa ubadhirifu na anasa nyingi.
Real estate developers, wale wanauza mashamba, and particularly the buying companies and the brokers, tunataka kuwakanya ya kwamba kuchukua shamba ya serikali alafu unauzia wengine. Wewe mnunuaji, wewe umenunua shamba ya serikali na wewe umeuza, hata mjue ya kwamba mko kwa hatari na it's a crime. Now here we are not going to tolerate, so that we will let the government lands be used for public facilities. Wananchi wanafaa kujenge.
And in Nakuru County, the government has promised to engage players in the air freight sector in a bid to address the soaring prices of cargo charges, mainly among horticulture farmers in Naivasha. With the prices doubling since the outbreak of the COVID-19, the government concurred with flour farms that it was adversely affecting the cost of production. This came as the farmers challenged the government to review electricity tariffs, terming the current charges as the highest in the region. According to Labour Cabinet Secretary Florence Bore, the floriculture sector was critical to the county's economy due to the foreign exchange and employment generated.
His Excellency the President, William Ruto, currently really wants us to absorb as many Kenyans as possible into employment. And if there is anything that you want us to do to make your work environment good and expand this business, in order to take more Kenyans, I will be willing to go an extra mile.
From the time when we had COVID, the cargo space has not normalized. So where we used to pay 1.7 euros per kilo, we now pay 2.9 or 3 euros per kilo to transport flowers. That eats into the little that you wanted to improve the welfare of the employees. So if that can be looked at, I know the farms have tried their best to move from moving the flowers using air freight. Now they have started using shipping. It has its own challenges. So I think it's an area that needs to be looked at.
There's been a lot of improvement in terms of relations in this sector. There's been calm. And I think our visit to the farm today, you've seen it's on the face of the workers. You've interrogated, but you can see the smile comes from the heart. It's not artificial. And I think it's because of the commitment of government and dedication, but also the commitment of the employers.
Those are just some of the stories that are trending at this time, but it wouldn't be trending news if we check out what's trending across our social media platforms. And on Twitter, one of the trending hashtags as at this time is Raila, who is the Azimio leader and the official leader of opposition. And according to a press statement that he has given this afternoon, he has announced that Azimio leader Raila Odinga announces 2 rallies set for December 7th and 12th at Kamkunji, Nairobi, to launch public consultations on the state of the nation. And as you know, the mass action was supposed to have happened on Wednesday, but was postponed due to the examinations that were going on in the country. But he has now said that the December 7th and 12th will be the day for public consultations at the Kamkunji grounds. And just in line with that statement, then I'd like to sample some of your feedback with the same. And Jaloka says, it's true you won the election. Jose Camargo just shortchanged you. It seems Ruto has already finalized how to rig in 2027. Those are some of the sentiments. And of course, in Raila Odinga's address, he has mentioned a few issues from the IEBC commissioner's suspension that the president did earlier today for investigations to take place in order to determine their fate, whether there will be they'll be released from office or not. So you've spoken about some of the few issues, including the IBC Commissioner's suspension, as well as, of course, the public consultations that are set to happen on December the 7th and 12th as well. But there's a very interesting tweet here by Didmas Baraza. And he goes on to say, of course, in line with the sentiments of Raila Odinga, he says Kenyans won't go to that direction. Bwana Raila Odinga, they're busy investing the hustlers' funds in various sectors. Because that is a conversation that is growing across social media, and we'll be giving you a detailed report in our subsequent bulletins. That's what's trending at this hour, and I thank you so much for watching. But before I go, let me bring you up to speed with the stories that we are following up for you to give you in details. The president has had a very busy day. Of course, the swearing in of the principal secretaries very early in State House, as well as on the drought watch, money that has been set aside to address the drought situation in the country. And as well, we'll also be looking at the Deputy President, Rigathi Gachagua, who is in Kilifi, among other things. Catch you up on some business as well as some sporting action. Remember, the World Cup season is still here with us. But for now, it's goodbye. Do enjoy the rest of your viewing. Have a pleasant afternoon.